All right, it is Rivalry Game Eve, and I am joined by Tim Staudt from News 10 Sports. How are you?
I'm mad about the weather because I wish
Yes.
this was a good weather weekend. We got high school football teams ending their seasons tonight, and I hope it's better than what it is, which it won't be. And then tomorrow, you hope it's. I mean, you wish upon a star for something that isn't going to be. If nothing else, I hope it's dry. It's going to be it's it's not for all the money and time and effort. And you only get these home games every 2 years, so you want it to be. I mean, it might be memorable. Don't get me wrong.
It might be
It
memorable.
won't be memorable for good weather.
One of our producers, Nathan, he was saying it is good Michigan football weather, though.
Let him go sit in it then. Let him go sit in it.
I don't know.
thinks
He might
it's
be
good.
sitting there right now. But yeah, a lot of time to tailgate, which if you're doing that in the rain, it might not be that.
Well,
fun.
a lot of these fans are hale and hearty. I mean, I'm amazed what they're willing to. I would have sent them to Siberia back when the country needed some security, because if they can stand the weather here, they could have done it in Siberia during the cold winters of the Russian Revolution. We'd have had to have them over there. I'm amazed what people will do and fight. And we still got another home game left, November 4th with Nebraska.
Yep. I always remember going to those first November games, like the first weekend of November in Ann Arbor, snow, everything. It was miserable.
I'm amazed people do it.
They
Trust
do
me.
it.
And the older you get, the more of that flat screen TV looks pretty good.
That or those beautiful people seats.
You'll find
as you
that
call
out
them.
when you're a senior citizen in 60 years. You'll find out what it's
Like in
like.
20 years.
Be right in front of that TV, nice fireplace. You have a little something to wash down. You get something to eat. Oh, I got to use the restroom for a minute. It's right there.
Pause.
Then you get your remote control. You can watch many games as you want.
Yeah.
So it's pretty slick.
Like Harbaugh was talking about the YouTube, where you get all of the channels. You get like 100 games a night.
I'm surprised he showed up when he was eligible. It's more fun to watch him on TV, especially the way his team plays.
Well, speaking of that, do you have any predictions for the game itself?
Just to come up with something 38-13.
Michigan?
Yeah, I think that's probably a
Yeah.
pretty good bet. I would think. After all, they know all the plays that are coming. They ought to get 38. They probably should get 30. They know every play. They know the plays better than the state players do, don't they?
They might.
You do what you got to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being critical. You do what you got to do. This is a jungle out there.
I'm guessing 21-28 Michigan. I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Do you?
I do.
You just don't want to jinx them.
No, I think that
You know what I will predict? When they come on the field, there's going to be a couple of boos.
Michigan?
Oh.
Oh, can't imagine.
And when the wonderful University of Michigan marching band is on the field in pregame and they make that block M and they strike the victors, I'm just wondering how much of it you're going to hear sitting in the stands once that booing starts, because it catches on, trust me.
Well, speaking of bands, we have a great story coming up at 5:30 on the marching bands from our photojournalist, Olivia Martin, so make sure you check that out at 5:30. But what about the off-field drama that it seems like both schools have had?
It's great.
It's great. It's great for you.
It's just tremendous.
You got no lack of
Well, you can't make this stuff up. It's tremendous for TV and radio. You hear about it all the time. Most of it is misreported by the media to begin with, including this issue. And how it plays out, I'm not completely. But it's great for one-liners, too.
It is.
As big a smart aleck as I am in here with you,
Can't imagine.
that just is like putting a red flag, or red, drape in front of a bull. I mean, when
That's why I'm wearing this?
I don't want to know anything more about. I don't need any more stats. I don't need any of that. I just want to know who's going to be accused of what. And by the way, Harb's is going to need a little security around him tomorrow, because the fans around here, they got a memory like an elephant, and they don't have much to cheer for these days.
They don't, but we were talking, the last two meetings between these two teams have been memorable. You had 2 years
that's
ago
what's great about it.
when they were both ranked in the top 10.
The best hits in the game last year in Ann Arbor came afterward in the tunnel. That was the best hitting all night long. And then what was the other one? And then remember what did Harbaugh called it? 2018? He called them the Stormtroopers Death March. Remember
Yeah,
the state
the
players
Death
that go
March.
walk
Yep.
down the field, and Devin Bush was there in the middle. He called it the Stormtrooper. You can't, enjoy this now, because I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. You got to enjoy it now. The Stormtrooper Death March. You can't make this. You don't hear that phrase often
No.
around a college football game. The Stormtrooper Death March. Oh.
Oh, let's see.
What other expertise do you want?
Well, I guess a couple of people in the newsroom were surprised to know that this is the first matchup between these two schools where the coaches are alums of the school they're coaching.
I guess so. Barnett is, and Harbaugh is. Yeah, that's about the only thing they have in common. It's about the only thing.
It's still a first.
Why don't you let me ask you a few questions?
Okay.
If Michigan's up by 3 touchdowns at halftime, how many people will still be there for the second half?
How many
It seats 75,000.
And how many people or how many state
How many
fans?
will be in the stands in the second half if they're up 3 touchdowns? Now remember, it's cold, it's windy, it's wet, it's miserable.
If they're up by 3 touchdowns?
There might be a student or two left.
Combined?
Who's passed out and can't get out of the place.
Combined?
And what percentage of those who are left will be wearing maize and blue?
I'm going to say 30,000 left, 20,000 of them Michigan fans.
Something around there. If
That's
it's
what I'm
one,
saying.
if it's one-sided.
Yes, by halftime.
You don't
Also, it's going to be very cold after halftime.
That's throw it all in there.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it all in.
Any other questions for me, or was that the only one?
Yeah, okay. I'll ask you what I. Which team on the game tomorrow night will commit the first personal foul for unnecessary roughness?
Michigan
or
State.
Michigan State. Okay. Which one will be called for targeting first?
Michigan.
Or Michigan State? Michigan? All right. Apparently you've given this some thought, huh? Which team will get booed first?
Michigan State.
By their own
Michigan State.
fans. By their own fans. You know, but they're used to it.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be used to it. There were some great signs today in Columbus, Ohio. Tomorrow game day's in Columbus.
You got to remember, there's another big game tomorrow, too.
State, Ohio State. They're down there for the game day, so it was on the monitor wall at the radio. It says one kid's hold up his sign in the back. Says, I had a better sign than this, but Michigan stole it. So I thought, now these are the creative students that make America great.
They are. I only made one sign for college game day in my entire life, so it was pretty good. I still have it. But
Well, they're probably going to be in Ann Arbor for the Ohio State game
it was.
or the Penn State game.
It's still no. It's only good
Whoever
for
wins tomorrow in Columbus, that's where game day will be when Michigan plays either
them.
Penn State on the road or Ohio State in Columbus. And it gets better. That's going to give Michigan's coaching staff at least 3 or 4 weeks to steal more signs, so they won't be surprised when the game starts. So that's a good thing for you, isn't that a good thing?
Why me?
Because you're available.
Oh.
You're totally available for this. Don't take. I like these fans around here, like you. I'll say 28 to 21. Really?
I really do think. I think there is so much passion in the Michigan State players when it comes to this game.
There is, but you know what the difference is?
He's picking on me, Fred.
You can.
Welcome. I'll show you my phone.
You know.
I think it's gonna. I do not think at all that Michigan will get the 52 points that they've been getting. I don't think that is even close to
I have
happening.
no way to argue for or against that till
This is
till
going
you
to
see
be
how it's played.
this is going to be a much feistier team than the Indianas and the
Let
Minnesotas.
me ask, are you worried at all if Michigan's got a massive lead and Harbs is trying to pour it on, and one of the Spartans cheap shots J.J. McCarthy and he goes down, huh?
I don't think that'll happen because Harbaugh has been pretty smart about that.
Yeah, but he
He's-
wasn't last week. He was in against Indiana late, and all the Michigan fans are screaming at him to get him out of there. And an Indiana guy cut him, and he's limping off the field.
Maybe he heard them.
He was okay.
I mean,
What I think he will do is he'll play the backup guy, but the backup guy will throw 25 passes trying to run it up from there.
there
State's
was
problem is they don't have enough talent. They don't have one of their 22 players who could start for Michigan's 22. Zero. None. They don't have it.
they don't.
So don't give me this 28-21.
That's what I'm sticking with. It. I can't
Unless
take it
you
back.
say 28 points from the first string and 21 from our second string, if that's what you mean. Maybe I misunderstood you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. There was some news that came out just a little bit before we came over here, and that's that
Yeah, they suspended the guy.
suspended one.
Connor Stalions. I want to
Yes.
get his autograph because he's a famed guy at Michigan now. I want his autograph on a glossy, or I want a selfie with him.
Glossy. Not even a matte. Wow.
a cynic would say you could get his autograph because you know doggone well he's going to be on the field for the next game of the opponent they're going to play, but now he's suspended, so that isn't too good. But yeah, he's suspended with pay though till this thing ends. And by the way, that's going to be a while.
Yeah.
It'll be a while.
It'll be a while. Last football thing we're going to talk about is game of the week. Joey is heading out to that. It is Grand Ledge at East Lansing, or East Lansing at Grand Ledge. Okay.
They're East Lansing's rocking and rolling. They've won 6 straight. Grand Ledge is tough at home. They get up for each other. They're both communities with a culture of winning. East Lansing's got a lot of speed. Grand Ledge is, they're a playoff team. I think it'll be, if it stays dry, this one's going to be like 40-30 East Lansing, something like that, because they're going to score.
Joey will have live. He'll be live from Grand Ledge.
5:30.
At 5:30, yes, at 5:30. So make sure you tune in for that. That's all I got for you. We're going to be back here live on the News 10 Plus digital desk at 4 o'clock with an update from UAW President Sean Fain.
Now that I can give you more information on. Okay.
And then I'll pull you over here.
Football's not my specialty.
Well, maybe I will get you to wheel that chair over here.
Tailgating is my specialty.
Maybe I will see you there tomorrow.
Tailgating, it's the only thing you can control is the tailgating. One way or the other.
We'll see, because this tailgating is going to be a different one.
Why do I think you'd be so much happier if you had Joey or Fred here instead of me?
That's not even true.
Because when you get older, you get cynical and sarcastic.
I love cynical and sarcastic. Are you kidding me?
Really?
I love that.
Well, you don't sound like my wife, I can tell you that.
All right, well, thank you very much. Right. We'll have all the football latest on air and online, and I will be back here in about 15 minutes with the latest from UAW President Sean Fain.